I want to turn to Pakistan, where a former prime minister, one of the country's most famous cricketer players, has had an extraordinary turn of events. He's now a political prisoner. Lots of human rights questions. Earlier this week, his sons met with one of President Trump's top aides to explain the situation there. And we're lucky to be joined by one of those sons right now, Qasim Khan. Qasim, great to have you here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Tell us the state that your father is in right now. I mean, he's basically a political prisoner, right?
Yeah, so he's now coming up to 2 years incarcerated in a solitary confinement cell. The state of the cell he's in is awful, quite frankly. He's showering in muddy water. I don't just mean unfiltered water, it's literally muddy, dirty water. 10 people who are incarcerated at the same time have died of hepatitis C from filthy needles, filthy razors. So right now he's in really, really poor conditions, and it looks like they're getting worse and worse by the moment. So we're looking for any way out possible.
Yeah. Who are some of your dad's allies? Who are those people, maybe in Pakistan or across the globe, who can help?
So we're looking to America at the moment because a lot of the people here have expressed concern. It seems like it might be the only kind of route out at the moment, because it seems like the establishment over there aren't responding to the UN or Amnesty International's statement saying it's an unlawful incarceration. So we're looking to America at the moment.
And it's an interesting coalition of people that all agree on this, right? You got Amnesty International, tends to lean a little bit to the left in American politics. Yes. You got Rick Grinnell, one of the closest advisors to President Trump. There seems to be a very large concern that the way this whole case is unfolded and the conditions that your dad are in now just isn't the norm, even for Pakistan. Tell us a little bit what most concerns you about how your dad ended up in this situation.
So one element of it is that every time, he has over 200 cases now against him, and every time he's cleared of a case or a case gets overturned, they put 4 or 5 more on him. So there doesn't really seem like any way out at the moment. Yeah. So what worries us in one way is that there's no end in sight, but also we're not able to speak to him. We conducted an interview about 4 months ago, talking about the human rights issues and violations. Before that, there were moments of, he went 10 days without any light in his cell, which is a torture tactic. And so we spoke out about it on an interview with Marion Naufel, and as a result of that, they doubled down. He gets only 2 hours a day in daylight, and we're just not able to speak to him at all since then. So it's been 4 months since we've spoken to him. As well as that, the doctors aren't able to go and visit him. It's been 8 months since he's seen his own personal doctor, and the current doctors have allowed 10 people to die only in the past 2 weeks. So we're naturally very concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to be very sensitive when I bring this up, because it's clear that anytime you bring your dad's case to light to the to anybody, that there is some type of repercussion. How do you discern what to say and what not to say to protect your dad?
I mean, I'm no politician. I'm not looking to be a politician. I'm just here looking to get him out of jail. From a personal perspective, obviously from a selfish perspective, I want to see him again. It's been 2.5 years since I saw him. I last saw him after he was shot 3 times. There was an assassination attempt, and very soon after he was put in a jail cell, which, as I've just told you, isn't the most hygienic. So I don't necessarily, I'm not media trained, I don't know exactly what to say, what I shouldn't say. But all I'm doing is just looking for any way I can get the message out and make sure everyone is aware of what's going on.
Yeah. The advocacy of a son is a powerful thing. It is for anywhere in the world. Did you take any hope away from your interactions with Rick Grinnell? He has the president's ear. He's been able to free prisoners recently in Venezuela, so he's a deal maker. What did you take away from that meeting, and what do you think is possible for the Trump administration to do?
I mean, Grinnell was he was very kind to kind of spend some time with us. He's we spoke at length, and I won't get into details about what we spoke about, but very hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful from that.
Wow, that's great. That's a big development.
Who has jurisdiction over the courts in Pakistan?
So I'm aware that there is the army chief currently, Qasim. He's in charge currently. He's calls the shots out there. It's coming to the end of his term at the end of this year, but it's looking like he's going to extend for another 2 years and potentially indefinitely. So over there, it's sort of looking like a dictatorship of sorts. We don't know when his reign will end, and we're under the impression that he's somewhat leading my father's imprisonment.
Your father was elected by the will of the people.
Yeah.
He's endures an assassination attempt and then this whole turn of events. When you look back at it, why do you think the establishment turned on him the way they did?
I mean, it's all speculation, to be honest. I wouldn't be able to give a definitive answer, but potentially power. But as you said, he won the election from a prison cell with a two-third majority. So
pretty remarkable.
On one side, it's me and my brother plead from a personal perspective, but the 250 million people in Pakistan also deserve to have their voices heard. They voted him in, and even with vicious rigging, to the point where they removed the cricket bat, which was the symbol of it's synonymous with my father.
Sure.
In a country with a high illiteracy rate, days before the election, they turned off the power the day of the election, right. So there was no internet connection. The amount of underhand tactics they used before the election to rig it against his favor.
And still he wins.
Yeah, and still he managed to win.
Yeah.
But they should be heard as well, the people of Pakistan as well as us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What's become of the party that your dad started? Is it PTI? What's become of that? Is it still?
Most of them are in prison, incarcerated with him. All of the 10 people I spoke about who are incarcerated, who lost their lives, they were all PTI members, every single one of them. And the party's obviously struggling at the moment with what's going on over there.
Yeah, pretty devastating. For people watching today, for what President Trump may consider to do, what are some of the short-term things that can be helpful to your dad's plight? And to be honestly, to the plight of human rights, this is really a test of the human rights powers of the world right now. Can we actually fix this?
I think the way is to speak up about it. I mean, the establishment over there aren't listening to any legislation, anything through the legal route. That's what we started doing when he first was arrested. We really tried hard to go down the legal route. None of that seems to work, and the only time we've seen them wobble is with international pressure and social pressure. So getting the word out there seems to be the best way forward.
Yeah, the antiseptic of light. It's an extraordinary story, one we're going to keep covering. It's a great honor to have you here. It's a rare moment when we get to talk about these things, but it's important for America to hear what's going on in Pakistan. It's nuclear power. It's supposed to have a lot of the values of modern society, but this case really raises some serious questions about whether they're being followed right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, my father, one thing I can attest to more than anything is his integrity. He's always, since before I could barely speak, and I was hearing him talk about the dangers of corruption and how much of a disease it is in any country. Dealing with him is dealing with an honest man, and I don't think you can say that about many people in Pakistan, many political figures in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Or anywhere.
Well, we're going to keep that light shining on it. It's such an